Hello, everybody, and welcome, Naz, Figo, and whoever else may be lurking already. I remember to turn my mic on, and I am pumped. This is the very first match of the Age of Mythology Champions League, the Colossus division, no less. Thank you to BoIt for putting together that little intro movie. You might have already seen it because BoIt put it on his channel maybe 3 or 4 days ago. But yeah, me and BoIt may not have a lot of skills, but what we do have, we try to use. So yeah, I was pretty happy with the way the video turned out. I think he was too. But the lucky few saw the intro again. But yeah, tonight is our very first match. It isn't live; it's the recorded games. Now, as you know from those of you who normally watch, I do it spoiler free. I don't know the results anyway, so I'll be watching it with you guys maybe for the first time. It's Shelty versus Grandmonster, week number 1. They are in the Champions League, which is the upper division, and each league is split into 2 divisions. This is the Colossus. Real quick, I am going to kind of go over the league because there may be some people that don't quite know what's going on, what the rules are. So let's we will dive into the. Oh, you can see me in my really bright green shirt too. We'll dive into the Google pages that I pulled up and put together, and I think you guys should be able to see this. Let me know if you can't. We should be looking at the Google documents page for the Champions League. There's a lot of text on here. It's kind of hard to maybe at first glance see what's going on, but I put this together and using my wisdom, which may be infinite, but certainly is not actually. And we've got our players on the left with the little scoreboards. You can see it's blank because I haven't updated it yet, so we can do their first official update after this series. But let's look at let's go through the leagues so far. We've divided the leagues up. We thought rather than have like a Division 1 or Division 2, we thought it would be cool to kind of use names that we can associate with. And of course, since we are Age of Mythology players, why not name the leagues after myth units? I think it was a great idea. It was also my idea, so I think it was a fantastic idea. Thank you. It turned out pretty cool. So we've got myth units, the Mythic Age myth units for the Champions League, and then some Heroic Age myth units for the lower league, which is the Challengers. So these are the leagues you can see on the left of your screen. We've got 2 leagues of 8 for what me and BoIt, in our opinion, put as the top 16 that signed up. Of course, people will differ. There may be some complaints, maybe some people who are sad that they didn't make it, but you know what? If you want to make sure that you be in the top, then have your own tournament, and you can put yourself in the top. So sorry, we are running the show for good or for bad. We try our best. Hopefully we make most people happy. But the Colossus division. So there is really no skill difference between the 2 divisions. They're both supposed to be pretty good. We tried to mix it as best as we could while also keeping some time zones in mind. So like the Phoenix division has most of our American players, but a few others. Really Age of Mythology is kind of dominated by non-USA anyway. We're a bunch of noobs, so we aren't very many good Americans, but there's a few from South America that are good. But I've got the order on my screen is my prediction of where the players will finish up. You can agree or disagree. I didn't put the records in because that's just way too much. And honestly, I had a hard time trying to figure out how many wins and losses there would be for each win. So I was coming up with uneven wins and then finally realized it was going to be like 28 or something, and then it was just too much work. So that's my opinion. I think Joe, Matrius, Shelty, Brickhead will round out the top 4. The top 4 of each division will advance to the playoffs. Yes, current redo is America. The bottom 4 will then go down to what would be called relegation or like demotion series, where the bottom 4 will play the top 4 of the Challenger League at the end of the season, and the winners of those games would go up to the Champions League the next season. Because the intent of this is to run this for a couple, month, about 2.5 months each season, have a couple 2.5 month, 2 month break maybe, and then continue on next season. Of course, some players won't be able to play the next season. That's okay. So we'd have to mix and match a little bit, but that's kind of the game plan. We'd like to, we being me and BoIt, would like to run it for as long as players want to play. I mean, the optimistic side of me says that someday we will get Age of Mythology Definitive Edition, and it would be fantastic to have like a 2 or 3 years worth of League coming into the Definitive Edition, and then having kind of this ongoing competitive tournament that moves into the Definitive Edition, because I think it'll come out. I mean, Microsoft keeps making money off of us suckers every time they issue a new version of the same old game. So we keep spending money, they'll keep making it. So I think we'll see a Definitive Edition in 2022, maybe 2023, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised. But my opinion of who's going to finish. Chemo currently is having some computer problems. We're hoping he can get that fixed and play. If not, we'll have to replace him with somebody from the challengers. But yeah, so this is a schedules over here then on the middle and left. You know what? How would I put this in the chat for you guys so you can look along with me instead of having to look at my screen? So I'll be updating this, but yeah, so I've got some rules on here, tiebreakers, everything's a best of 3. The map that's listed here is the third game. Players can pick their own maps to lead into what might be the third game, which we have ahead of time so players can kind of prepare. I feel like that's better than just a random map. Game 3 is random, and then who knows what you're going to get. Will we stream all the matches live? No, Polash. We won't be able to do that just based on time zones and such. And I mean, we're talking 4, 8, 12, 16 matches with both leagues. So that's going to be tough to do, obviously. We'll have random different people streaming. Me and BoIt will probably mostly be doing recorded game streams later on and then uploading to our YouTube. Couple live games, but yeah, so week 1, Joe versus Shadowfax, Swissplay versus I Kill You Die, Brickhead versus Matrius or Boobaz, Shelty versus Grandmonster. That's what we're on tonight. Those are the only match that's been played, but we've got a lot of games scheduled this weekend. And then Hell's Ravage versus Scotty, Moore versus Redo, Chemo versus Mr. Boat, which is going to be delayed at least a week. Senzu versus Nolus. A lot of good matches. I mean, a lot of good players. I mean, you're going to have good matches every single day. It does have money. So we're currently at a $350 US prize pool with some more people working at getting with some more people who have said they'll donate. So our goal is $500. I think we'll get to it. I'm pretty confident we'll get to that. We've had really a lot of people, very generous people that really love Age of Mythology. And the amazing thing is the generous people are not really the ones that you typically see around. It's kind of the people in the background that just love watching and like to donate money. So for those of you watching later or now that may have donated, we appreciate it. It's awesome. So that's the Champions League, and you can see we've got 6 weeks, and then we've currently got an assigned flex week, which these games can be played anytime in the first 6 weeks. They have to be played. They're not optional. We'll see how it goes if we need to. If we might just change this into a week 7, but the purpose of this was to try to chop off a week so that 7 matches in 6 weeks seems pretty doable to me. Is there a link to donate? Not really. It mainly is you contact either me or BoIt if you wish to donate. If someone could put you have to use BoIt's PayPal or mine. Do I have a command to put it in? There it is. That's the Discord link. So let us move on to the Challengers League, because I'm in the Challengers League. So you know what? That's more interest to me than the Champions League, kind of. But the Challengers League. So here's the Challengers League. Now I don't have this ordered by ranking here. Didn't do that. I mean, I think it's kind of up in the air. You've got a couple real good players in each each league that you would think would dominate. But the Behemoth and the Kraken are the myth units of choice here. So you've got Hagrid, SMP4, Jellyfish, Devil Red Viper, also known as Nolgath, Domitas, Mage, Chungwu, J4, JC, C3. Thinking maybe like by skill, Domitas and Devil Red would be probably the best, but Jellyfish is also really good. Hagrid can be good if he really tries. He's kind of one of those players that kind of casually plays for the most part, but if he trains, he can be really good. And then the bottom division, the Kraken division, I had to put myself in the Kraken division just because of that word Kraken. It's just such a fun word to say, Kraken. You can't hear anything. It's okay. It's working. Sorry about that. Where's the Argo division? Don't know. It's not here. I'm sorry. Maybe next. I mean, we're gonna change these division names every season, so we might see next season the Argo division. But the bottom division is the one very interesting. Mariano, he's pretty decent. Gabu, he's pretty decent. Steve was here. He's an EE player. Good to have him on board. I'm not sure exactly of his skill level, but I think he's pretty decent. Barachola, the Rapleon, don't really know a whole lot about them, but I think they're pretty decent. You got Odin King, he was one we really considered for the champions. Nyan Racing Cat, also one we considered. Oh, you muted the class. Now listening to me. You'll learn more from me anyway. And then your favorite, number 7 there, ChronoJJ, who's already got his game scheduled. I'm talking about myself in the third person. I'm playing versus Mariano. Oh, I played on Anatolia. Ooh, should maybe practice. We're playing in, let's see, 3-4. We're playing Friday actually it's Saturday at 2:30 GMT, so that's Friday night for Americas. So Saturday 02:30, Friday night for me. Yeah, so ChronoJJ versus Mariona, yeah, that's on Friday. So I think that's really everything I need to get into as far as the schedule. If you check out the Discord, we're trying to keep on top of things, keep everything up to date. We've got a scheduled list of games. Obviously, not all the games are going to get streamed, but we'll try to get as many as we can live, and the ones that don't get streamed live, we'll, as we have time, try to do recording games. But let's get in to our very first match. I'm going to take myself off the screen because the focus here really is the players, not me. So let us get over to the screen, and we'll also be able to show off. Really excited, actually. One of the coolest things is going to be these scoreboards, because Flame has really put together some pretty sick scoreboards and icons. In fact, look at this icon, Champions League Colossus Division. It's really cool, and you know what? While I'm bored here, let's put on and show you guys. I'm going to try to get it so we aren't getting this weird. How am I going to do this so I don't get this weird? Oh, I can just maximize this, and then we can see. So we've got 4 icons for each division. We've got the lighter blue color for the Challengers League. This is the icon for the Behemoth division. As you can see, our little Behemoth down here. We've got some of these. Where are we going here? Nope. We've got just our basic main thing here. And where are my other ones? There's the Colossus division. Flame had a little bit of a hard time, you getting Google images of a Colossus, so this is the best he got. But yeah, it's still pretty awesome. I mean, we could say that's a Colossus. Looks like a Colossus to me. Sure. And then we've got the Kraken division. This is my favorite one. I mean, the color combination is just so awesome. But look at this cute little octopus Kraken thing. He just looks adorable. Just like me. That's why I put myself in the Kraken. It's basically me. So that's pretty awesome. And then we have, lastly, the other Champions League is the Phoenix division. So really cool icons. Again, thanks to Flame for putting those together. Strength of victory is a tiebreaker. So the initial tiebreaker is, of course, head-to-head if people end up with the same score. I am talking to you guys. I am reading the chat. You guys have me mute. The other thing is, so individual game wins. So because you're playing best of 3s, so if we have a 3-way tie, the tiebreaker, from our understanding, would be individual game wins. So if somebody wins 2-0 as opposed to 2-1, the 2-0 is a +2, the 2-1 is a +1. So you get more value with the 2-0. The strength of victory, if somehow someone that we still have managed to have ties after that, is based off of the record of the players you beat. So if you're beating the top players, that's of more value than beating a bottom player. So if we have 3 players tied after the individual game wins through some strange twist of fate, then we'd go to that. If they're still tied after that, I guess we're just going to probably close up the division, because the chances of that would just be amazing. But let's get into the game. So shall we? How does that sound? We're going to get into game number 1 of Grandmonster versus Shelty. I think, let's see. Now I need to see. Hold on. I need to figure out who's picking first. Grandmonster is picking second. So game 1 will be Shelty's game. The scoreboard should be good up on the top. Yep, there it is. I will have to upload it. Is there a Champions League anthem? Well, you kind of missed the introduction, Polash. That's kind of the league anthem, I guess you could say. But let's get right into it. The AOT League. I got 3 recorded games here. There may or may not be 3. I'm thinking we're going to see some Norse wars here, which can go fast. So Shelty versus Grandmonster, game number 1. I forgot whose map this was already. Somebody tell me in chat, because I think it's Shelty's. But here we go. Uranus versus Odin, and we are looking at Ghost Lake. I think it's Shelty's map on Ghost Lake, unless I forgot. But who are we looking at? This is Shelty. I think he'll finish in the top 4 for the division. He's a really good player. Sometimes he gets a little bit underrated, I think, unfairly so. He's a really good player. And I would say he is better than Grandmonster. But he is Uranus. But Odin, over here from Grandmonster, does go really well into Uranus. So we are doing blind pick, for better or for worse. But this is Ghost Lake, obviously. Odin does well into Uranus, and it looks like it's a pretty decent hunt Ghost Lake. Well, actually, no. I'm looking at this because he used Great Hunt on this. Though it is a 2 hunt pack Ghost Lake, I believe. You don't know anything about AoM, you just found out about BoIt's chat. So you just found out about BoIt, started watching AoM. Well, welcome to Age of Mythology. Real-time strategy game came out in 2003. Is it okay to make it a bit smaller? Yeah, my fear was that maybe you guys couldn't read it. I can make it, yes, a bit smaller. We can reorganize it a little bit here. I maybe should have done this in between games, because this is going to jack up all my formatting. Is it still centered? Kind of, maybe. There. How does that look? A little bit better? We're centered okay for a little bit delay. Alright, we're back to the game. We'll get this sorted out. But the thing to notice about Ghost Lake, this is the unfortunate hunting here, where they spawn, at least they're kind of cut off. But Ghost Lake will spawn either 1 or 2 secondary hunt and 1 or 2 primary hunt. The primary hunt is your boars. Secondary hunt is the caribou. They are only 4, which isn't much, but Odin with the Great Hunt power allows you to get like, it's like a 600 food increase. So it looked like it doubled the amount of hunt here. And actually, the hunt for Grandmonster is in a really good position for him, because look where he has to go. His 1 hunt pack is here, 2nd hunt pack here, and then his starting hunt pack, which is not going to be starting because he's already up here, is right here. So this is like perfect hunt position for Odin and for Grandmonster. I mean, you can't get it better than this. Let's take a look at Shelty, on the other hand, who is actually started on berries. He did not, it took him a while to scout his hunt, I see, because he is just now hunting without hunting dogs. So just based on the early scouting and what happened, really good start for Grandmonster, because he got hunting dogs right away, plus 30% gather rate. and Hunt is faster of a gather rate than berries anyway, so that's going to be a little bit of an advantage for him. Shelty might be going for an Age 2 at 4 minutes. And yes, it's free god choice. Players can pick whatever gods they want, however many times in a row. We wanted players to be able to play with their best gods. So yeah, he's going for a 357 age up. That's about as good as you can, but without hunting dogs. So he's going for all-out aggression, but if Grandmonster can hold, it'll be good for Grandmonster in the long run because Grandmonster's going to have better economy. We see some Idle Town Center time here. He's got to start aging up. There he is. Oh, he clicked Heimdall and then switched to Freya. So that'll slow down just a little bit. We had about maybe 10 seconds of idle time, which might not seem like much, but that's pretty important. Time is everything in real-time strategy. So we're going to see an early Valor coming in on these oracles, it looks like. So we'll have your first aggression coming in about 20 seconds. Shelty really needs to push Grandmonster off of the food if he wants to have any chance. So while the hunt is beneficial for Grandmonster to be in the same place, it's also in a way beneficial for Shelty, because if he controls this spot, he controls all of the hunt. And we see a really fast advance for him, 4 minutes. And there's the shockwave. He's going to try to pick off this villager here. He might be able to get 2. And gets 1. Can he get a second? I think he will. A little path blocking. Yeah, he's going to get 2. And really, I think Grandmonster's age up is too slow here. I think you try to go for a little bit after 4 minutes. So pushed off of hunt, lost 2 villagers. Gonna have to push back and probably start going on his goats. So the hunting dogs for him is not gonna really have any value for now. And the fact that his hunt was so perfectly lined up is no longer of any value either. I think when you see this hunt, you as Grandmonster have to think, I have to age up fast, because if I get pushed off of hunt here, I have no more hunt. So a little bit slow. He's gonna try to go for Ulfsarks here. I would think. Ulfsarks are pretty common into Atlantean. We're seeing double counter barracks, so 2 Terma being produced simultaneously. No barracks. We've got the Valkyrie coming in on this villager who's already a little bit hurt. There must have been a wild animal that put some pain on this villager here. I would bet on the Odin here. You know, if the Valk would have done some path blocking initially. Oh, there's the forest fire. Will it get the Vil? Will it get the Vil? He does get the Vil and is going to get on the Promethean. So this was a really high value forest fire there, because without it, we see a Herster go down. Without it, that villager would have survived. Now he is losing his Valkyrie. Need to run the Valk here. Yeah, the donkey was so close, thought it was getting out. The Valk, you don't want to lose your Valk. That's such a high value unit. There you go. Okay. And is defending, but some idle time here. Lost just a Hersier. This should... Honestly, you could fight this now and win. Kind of surprised he ran back. So that kind of evens out the trade. 2 villagers lost for Grandmonster. 1 citizen lost for Shelty. What PCU cards do you need? Actually, the worse your computer is, the better it's going to perform. Players with some of the better computers have to kind of do a lot of jumps to get the original AoM to work. We're talking AoM. You can't play the extended edition on Steam, in which case, yes, the better computer, which that's going to be easier actually as a newcomer. I would suggest you go through Steam. We're seeing the Ulfsarks coming out, but no hunting yet. Does he have husbandry? No. Doesn't even have pickaxe. And still has this Valk roaming around, but because she took so much damage, she can't do a whole lot. We have Shelty will be doing the... should be doing a Valor soon. We have a lot of Terma. They can do hit and runs before we get the upgrade. So Grandmonster is getting Watchtower. I would rather he spend those resources on the Lone Wanderer technology first, I feel like. Because you want to get aggressive so that you can get back to your hunt. Watch out, this Ulfsark dying for... Oh man, dies for no reason. But until he gets not the Great Hunt, the Lone Wanderer, which is a tech that makes Ulfsarks run faster, he's not going to be able to do much. Would it be worth to make another Valkyrie? Yes. Well, no, maybe not now because he lost it. It's not. I mean, they take a ton of. Oh, see, Grandmonster should not be fighting or even building here because he's just losing units. And until look at this, he's losing units. And until he gets the Lone Wanderer tech, he should not fight. What makes Lone Wanderer so important? No, I think you can stay. You want to? I think staying. Yeah, he actually. No, you're right, Jack. You're right. Some raiding cavalry would be nice because he is pure Terma. But once the Ulfsarks get the Lone Wanderer technology, they do become kind of anti-Terma. The Lone Wanderer gives them like plus 0.5 speed eventually. Now it's coming in, 50% in. The thing that makes that so big is that in Age of Mythology, the big speed hump that you want to get over is 5. Because ranged units can hit units that move up to a speed of 5. Once you get above 5, your units are running faster than that. Most ranged units will miss their attack every time. There's a few exceptions to the way that works, but that's kind of the general rule. So he wants to wait until now he has Lone Wanderer. So now he can hit and run and not get attacked until he's right up next to the Terma. So what he should do is you try to figure out which Ulfsarks they're targeting and keep them running. Also, of course, helps in flanking maneuvers. The speed is everything. I would have liked to actually have seen him flank that. But we can see he is on this hunt up here now, which is very good for him. But has lost a few too many units leading into it. And you see he went and moved that unit, tried to keep it from getting attacked. He's got a few more. You know, what would really be nice if he were to wall this off, which it might be too late now. And he might be in a bit of a hard time because of he just lost a few too many units early, he being Grandmonster. Took a few fights down here that he shouldn't have. And yeah, he doesn't want that Herseer in there because the Herseer is only 4.2 speed. He's the fatty in the group here, and he needs to get out. Now he's split him up. Yeah, slowed Berg Screamer is unfortunately not allowed in. And Shelty doing really good hit and run here. This wall would be so big to get here because Shelty can just run in and out kind of infinitely, and you need a surround for your Ulfsarks. A little bit of pathing is always a little questionable in AOT sometimes. Now that he's killed these, he shouldn't fight this being Grandmonster because his Ulfsarks can't get in. This is a really nice choke point for Shelty here. Grandmonster really should have walled this a long time ago. We have a raid up here. We have the Prometheans. They're really good in this situation because of the Herseers are slow. And Grandmonster... Oh man, these units could be stopping this hunt. You can see how close they are, but not close enough. And Grandmonster has been hunting for a while, hunting happily, and this should be a good fight for Grandmonster here actually until these Prometheans show up and get involved here. And then without there's no Herseer, one Herseer, who's way down here. So Grandmonster won't be able to fight this. And really it would be good for Grandmonster to think about doing a little bit of counter raids. You know, sending like 5 Herseer forward just to do some damage. Got the Prometheans trying to just to tank damage here. The Herseer, just you see how slow he is. He is finally in on that one. Yeah, there's not enough heroes. You're right. At this point, a Valk would be really high value because Shelty doesn't have very many units actually, and he's kind of sent his Promethean and they kind of got trapped and kind of getting a little bit caught out here, and this fight here is kind of evening it up for Grandmonster. Like to see medium upgrades. Hello Yadho, good to have you on board. Oh, now Shelty has found the Vils, but a little bit late. Now we're mixing in. Now we're mixing in the Murmillo. It's good to have them. And this is kind of the game fight here. This is the game. This is going to be the game. It could be the game for Grandmonster if he loses this. We see medium infantry did come in. There might be enough units. We probably have a shockwave. Maybe. How soon is the shockwave coming? No, you're not going to be a shockwave, but I think there's enough units here for Shelty. I think he takes this fight. Yeah, he's definitely taking the fight here. Just not enough units for Grandmonster. Not enough units. He lost a few too many and was never able to get the surround that he needed. And he's going to lose this fight, lost his whole army, and we'll just call it as a GG just like that. So Shelty wins our first Champions League game pretty quickly. The one big fight here, a little bit of stuff leading up to it, and every unit counts. And Grandmonster just lost a few too many units down here, just getting picked off before they really need to. Just didn't quite perform the way he needed to there. Lost a few too many units, and against a good player, they'll take advantage of stuff like that. I mean, really, Shelty did allow this hunting to go for a little bit too long. I didn't have a super problem with the ults, but yeah, it would have been nice to see a few raiding cavalry because of how heavy Shelty went. I mean, when you scout the opening double counter barracks, I think you can mix in raiding cavalry. Grandmaster usually plays pretty well. He's kind of one of those unknown players. He plays a lot of vanilla that he's really good at, but also plays extended edition. But he's kind of one of those unsung players that maybe at the end of the season he won't do as well as we would like to have seen, and people will be like, he shouldn't have been in, but he has potential. Those two early Vil loss, that's big. I think things he could have done differently, just age up a little faster. We can compare eco. See, he's way ahead. Well, actually, some of that is when you cancel a tech at Exodus, you gathered those resources. But he still is ahead. But about here, it's pretty even. And then, of course, as we get further along, the early Atlantean economy is pretty good. And just not quite where he needed to be. Kill-loss ratio is kind of even. Grandmonster gets a few extra bonus points for killing the little Prometheans, so that's extra units, but just not quite where he needed. Maybe lost a few too many units, but let's put on. We can update our scorecard for the first time ever with Shelty with a 1. This is a best of 3. Who is my personal player to watch out for like a dark horse? I think Norse is a player that could do really well. He's kind of come from out of nowhere this year. But early this year, he was just kind of a 1750, just kind of. But he's really turned it on. He's been playing a lot. He's gotten a lot better. I think Norse is somebody that could surprise people in his division, which is why we picked him to be in there. He's been playing really well, really good Aranos. But let us move on to game number 2. This will be Grandmonster's choice. Will it be like a marsh? We'll find out. Here we go. Game number 2. Kronos versus Odin on Mediterranean. This is Grandmonster's map? And he picked Medit? Well, I don't like that choice as an Odin player. It seems really strange to me. But this is Grandmonster Odin. He's red, and this is Shelty. Switched to Kronos. Kronos is very strong on Mediterranean. I feel like Kronos matches up super well against the Odin. The one thing about poor Norse, you'd think they'd be gods of the seas. The problem is maybe build their docks a little bit too slowly. Like we can see the Atlantean villager already shuffled on over, already has this dock built and one fishing boat out before Grandmonster can even build his first dock. So the dock build time could maybe in the future at some point maybe use a bit of a buff, perhaps. Just saying. But, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I think it's going to be hard because here's what's going to happen if Shelty's paying attention is he's going to come over here and deconstruct the dock. He's in his god power, and Grandmonster's going to have to rebuild his dock. And they're going to again get plagued by this super slow build, and I just, as a Norse main, I just don't understand why you'd pick this map. Because here's what happens when you're playing against the best players, is that they can kind of counterpick you in a way. Kronos is a really good god against Odin on this, or even any Norse on this map because of the deconstruct. Probably even better than Uranos, really. And you can see we're watching this poor Ulfsark just slowly hammer away at the dock again. And what we're going to probably see then is Shelty with a 4-minute advance and Grandmonster just way behind in his advance to like a 4:45 maybe, and that can almost be a GG right there. So I don't know why is Odin that he can pick a map that he wouldn't pick like a marsh or a tundra. I mean, why Medit? I mean, of all maps to pick, like I'd say it's like the worst one for him. So I don't know why. He is I mean, he plays a lot of vanilla. So maybe not used to playing as much against Atlantean, but he also plays extended edition. So you'd think he'd kind of foresee what might show up against him and be like, no, this meta is a bad choice. But yeah, if he loses, and he might, I mean, Kronos versus Odin is kind of one of those games that could be ended pretty quickly. You gotta just put it down the map. Yeah, we can see Shelty is force dropping. He's gonna be up a little bit after 4 minutes, probably a 4:10. Okay, about 4:06. He'll be up. He'll probably shift his temple forward and then have three oracles to fight. And then his deconstruct will be up in early classical age, so should be able to do some damage. We see some force dropping here for Grandmonster. He's trying to age up a lot of idle town center time, 15 seconds worth at least. And now he's garrisoning again. Whew. 4:30 advance. And of course, what do we see in this corner? Is the temple time shift coming forward. We got the oracles and only one dock. This might be like a 6-minute game here. Grandmonster just too far behind. Cause well, he could get this dock up. Shelty should be able to defend it. I think if he's paying attention, he'll send oracles down and probably prevent this from going up. Yeah, this oracle is coming down to scout, and we'll be able to pick off that Ulfsark. Could have maybe considered walling his Ulfsark in up against the water, but I mean, this is kinda gonna be over really quickly here. I mean, Forest Fire really gains him nothing. He's up now, but how long do we have for Shelty before he's got a deconstruct? So we have deconstruct is available at 43 seconds. We already have boats coming out for Shelty, and only one dock from Grandmonster. I mean, I don't know how he can fight this. I mean, it's just a map choice loss, I feel like. I mean, maybe he's super confident on his Mediterranean skill, but we've got the Forest Fire used. I don't even know where. Oh, up on the building. Okay. It'll kill the, yeah, it'll kill the temple. So that's nice, but Grandmonster is already pushed off of water. Man. GG, but hate to see it go that way. Whew. Not the not the start to the season that you'd want to have. That is a quick 2-0 loss. And honestly, with what Grandmonster tried here, I mean, like, the average, like, 1700 could have beaten him. Because, I mean, one deconstruct and then the boat pressure, and it's kind of over. I mean, I don't know why you picked this map. I mean, you got all maps to pick. Of all maps, why Met it? Well, that's kind of a tutorial for you guys. Playing Meta against as Kronos against Norse. How do you win? Well, you win like this. You send your first Oracle up to deconstruct the dock. Age up at 4 minutes. Put early pressure on. Time shift your temple forward. Bring some Oracles down to fight along with Prometheans. And if the Odin doesn't prepare well, which does take some work. I mean, it takes a lot more work from the Odin to get this to defend this than it does for the Kronos to attack. And then this is what happens. So a very quick 2-0 could be, as a decent koala says in the chat, could be the turn out to be the fastest game and perhaps the fastest series in the tournament. So, well, hopefully we'll see a better showing from Grandmonster next week, because he is better than this. Definitely better than this. So hopefully he puts his act together and does a little bit better performances, because this was not definitely not what he wanted here. Yeah, I do agree with you, Prowler. It's a tough go. I don't know how you can. I don't know. I mean, it's just so, like, the Kronos push here is just so easy to do. How do you mess it up? And you got to do so much more work as Odin to really defend it. So, I mean, but that's the whole point of the tournament, is that you can pick your map, so you can kind of avoid that. I mean, he just picked himself a loss. I mean, jeez. But that is it. So that is going to be the stream for tonight as well, because I am on day shift now, so I can't stay up all night. Yeah, might be on purpose. I don't think it would be on purpose. Why would you do it? I don't know. Maybe he wasn't thinking clearly. There's some sort of confusion. But, and at least we got this nice calming fire background that we can kind of sit and enjoy for a little bit. But yeah, anyway, so I'll be back tomorrow night playing some games, because I got to get ready for my match that's on Friday. Friday night for me, Saturday for some of you, it's 2:30? 2:30? Or is it 1:30? 2:30, 1:30, 12:30, 11:30, 10:30, 9:30. Oh, it's 1:30, not 2:30. But real quick, let's put in the chat before we call it a night. Hope you guys enjoyed, even though it was kind of one-sided this very first match. Hope you guys enjoyed our little stream here. The overview, the leading in. We're gonna have a lot of games. So if this is the worst match of the tournament, that's fine, because we've got a lot more coming for you guys. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna call it a night. I will catch you guys hopefully tomorrow. I'll play some 1v1s and hopefully get ready for my game. So hope everything is well for all you guys, and I will catch all of you later. GG's, well played.